Katie.
And I'm Luke.
And today we're making
falafel.
What do you know about falafel?
I know that it tastes good. That's about all that I know. I've eaten a fair amount of falafel. I know that it is a Middle Eastern / Mediterranean dish, primarily based around chickpeas.
Ooh.
In Egypt, they might make it with fava beans and chickpeas, or just fava beans. But this is more of like a more widespread way of making it with just chickpeas.
So for people that don't know what falafel is, what, like in a nutshell, what is falafel?
So falafel is sort of, I would call it chickpea patties. Chickpea patties, that's a good way to put it. Chickpeas, some parsley, garlic, onions, a couple spices, and that's about it.
I always think of like a hush puppy too. It
That's
has
a good
that
way of
kind
putting it.
Consistency of a hush puppy.
Yeah, let's get right into it. Biggest thing for this recipe is the chickpeas. These are not canned chickpeas. These are very hard. I can't crush them. Do not use canned chickpeas. So these are chickpeas that were dry. We bought them dry, and then we soaked them in water overnight. So anywhere from overnight to 24 hours, and that'll give you the consistency that you want when you grind them up.
So why dry and not canned?
Because we want that texture, we want that hard, well not hard, but we want to chew to them. We don't want them to just mush when we put them in the food processor. So we've got 2 cups of chickpeas, got about a cup of parsley with the big stems removed. You can leave some of the little stems on, but the big stems, they just take up space and they don't really taste like anything. 6 cloves of garlic. You can add more or less depending. This is a good place to start though. And we're gonna cut this onion in half.
With that tiny knife.
Well, I got it for the garlic.
Why don't we have 2 cutting boards?
Because I'm a professional. Alright, so
we're
we're
on
gonna put that
live
there.
television.
Live
You're gonna
television?
use
Apparently,
a
I've
knife.
never been on live television before.
If you know anything about cooking, you should comment about the bad technique of using a tiny knife.
Well, it's for the garlic, okay? We're not chopping this up, so we're literally gonna cut this into fourths. This is a pretty big onion, so I'm just using half of it. If it were like a small onion, use the whole thing, chop it up into fourths. Whew, I'll tell you one thing, that's a strong onion. We need to chop this garlic. Well, not chop it up, but we're gonna get the little brown bud off of it.
Little brown bud.
Little throwback. We're gonna get the little brown bud off of it. Okay, so we got the garlic peeled and it's roughly chopped. You don't have to chop it too much, but I would advise against just throwing it in there whole, because if it processes too much, it can get really bitter. And so some of these smaller pieces will kind of avoid the blades a little bit and they won't get too bitter. It's a good tip for anytime you put garlic in a food processor. Okay, so let's get this all going. So all of this, the parsley, the onions, the garlic, and the chickpeas are all going in here. Throw one of those onion pieces in there too. That'll be good. You're gonna have to do it in batches if your food processors are small like ours. Yeah, you can throw some chickpeas on top of that. We'll do this in batches, like I said. You want to get a little bit of each ingredient in all your batches, so it's all processed evenly. See you later. There you go.
Ready?
Yep.
No liquid?
Nope. Okay.
Yeah, I need to push the sides down.
Yeah, so it'll start coming up the sides, but this is already a pretty good texture.
It smells so fresh. Oh, the parsley.
Other way. There you go. Yeah, so that's a good consistency. I mean, you can see that everything's chopped up, everything's really fine. Some of the parsley pieces are a little bigger, but that's because they're leaves. So that's kind of what it looks like. Dump this in here.
No parsley.
No parsley.
All the onion?
So the onion and the chickpeas. Yum, yum, yum. Spicy onion boys. You're pushing down on it, so go ahead.
That's why it takes us 4 years to film these, because I play around.
Yep, that's about the same as the other ones.
Yay! Once again.
Okay, so now all of our batches are done. Let's get this mixed up evenly, and then we're gonna also throw in our spices as well and mixing it up. So we've got ground coriander, ground cumin, a tablespoon of each of those, probably about a tablespoon of black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, and a teaspoon of dried dill. Now you can use fresh dill, you would throw it in with this, do about 1/2 cup of fresh dill, but I don't know, the dill didn't look good at the store. So dried dill is just as easy to do. And you're probably gonna have dried dill in it. We use parsley for more than just this, so we usually have parsley. So mix that in. Gonna add a good pinch of salt. So this is our last ingredient that we're putting in here. This is tahini, which is sesame seed paste. It's kind of like peanut butter, it's super runny, and this is gonna help us keep some moisture in here. It's got some, I mean, it's
Oil.
yeah, it's oil, so it's gonna help us keep. It's not gonna dry out as much, especially if you're baking them. So you bake them, they can dry out a lot because they don't have that hard crust on the outside to keep all the moisture in. So we're gonna add about a teaspoon and a half of that. Just mix that in. That didn't look like a booger at all.
Is it fun?
Yeah.
It's gonna be so fast.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to our next step, which is shaping.
My favorite part.
Your favorite part. All right, so we're gonna shape these into about 1-inch balls. So just scoop it up, put it in your hand. Make sure your hands are clean, obviously. And if it's kind of falling apart a little, throw it in the fridge and it'll set up and it'll make it easier to shape them.
Like that? Is that 1 inch or is that bigger?
No, that's good.
Do you want it round or does it need to flatten out? Because I've seen them where they look like patties.
So I usually make them round and then when I'm ready to cook them, just kind of flatten them out a little bit.
Okay. And then do you need to like force it together so that it'll stick, like be more...
So you don't want to squeeze too much of the moisture out. So if you're forcing them, all that moisture is going to come out of there. So you don't want that. You want to use enough force to get it together.
Okay. Is that 1 inch? That looks bigger than 1 inch.
That's good. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't even know.
See, that's way bigger.
That's way bigger.
That's not as pretty as mine.
Because you take all this time.
We got time.
Ain't nobody got time. Whoa, whoa.
These are like baked salad balls.
What is that?
Oh, no, I feel like chickpea and parsley, and they're all like things that you put on salads.
You gotta love like whoa, whoa.
Ew, that is so ugly.
What?
Looks like a rhino.
That's
Little
beautiful.
horn sticking out.
It's beautiful.
Is it a horn or is it a tooth?
A rhino?
Yeah.
It's a horn, I believe. It's made of keratin, like a finger. No, they're not like narwhals. It's a nar.
Sonar. Let's name our child Keratin.
Keratin.
No, I don't like anything. Gross.
Bye, Bible. Somebody please come. For the bleep I blaze. Throw in the trash. Just kidding. Not the trash. 18 balls.
Just do 3 on each row.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16.
Alright, eat it.
No, I gotta get ready. Beautiful. Look at our little falafels.
There's our falafel. We're gonna put these in the fridge to rest for a little bit. We are gonna make a sauce for you guys.
Good night.
Yeah, so we eat a lot of tzatziki, so that's what we're gonna make today. Plus, you don't have to make tahini. It just comes in a container.
True.
So about a cup's worth of Greek yogurt.
Are you just gonna tell me when I've gotten a cup's worth? I don't know.
You don't know how to figure that out?
No.
You ever seen a cup?
No.
Okay.
Cupish?
A little more.
A little more.
One more spoon. You give it the tiniest spoonful. Give it another big spoonful.
A big one?
A medium-sized one. That's medium. That's the same size as the small one. That's good. That's fine.
Apparently, this is a cup.
Yeah, it's about a cup. I say
Alright.
about a cup. Okay, so we're gonna add in some dried dill. You want a good amount of dill. You can use chopped garlic, but I don't always like crunching on garlic if it's not chopped up all the way. So
I
know.
love crunching on garlic.
I'm just gonna cheat and I'm gonna add some garlic powder, but
Your mama would throw a fit if she saw this.
by all means, use garlic. If you want to put a pinch of that salt in there, the world's smallest pinch. Another half pinch.
You use these ambiguous terms in the culinary world.
I don't think that's ambiguous. I just forgot how tiny your
Okay,
little
a pinch,
fingertips are.
like, that was even
Because
more.
your fingertips are tiny. Alright, so we're gonna add in per cup what is this? Oh man. Per cup of yogurt, we're gonna add in 1 lemon's worth of juice. Beautiful. Alright, just mix that up. And then you can adjust seasoning.
Yeah, and I think, like, with tzatziki, everybody kind of does it their own way, too. So, like, our friends, Corey and Mary Beth, hate our tzatziki because it's very lemony.
It's very tangy.
But we love it tangy. And you might want more or less dill or more or less
Lemon.
lemon. And then,
Or even pepper and garlic.
so,
We like different amounts of garlic. But I will say, so if you don't want it to be as tangy, use sour cream or use half yogurt, half sour cream to kind of adjust the level to where you want it to be. And then a traditional tzatziki, like a Greek tzatziki, would have cucumber in it. It's like shredded cucumber in there.
that adds some more crunch and moisture to it, too.
Yeah, but we like this as sort of a dipping sauce, and it has a better consistency for dipping sauce. So this is what we make. It's nothing we do is traditional by any means.
It's true.
I would venture to say that nothing about food is sacred. I'll say that until you start messing with Cajun food, and then I get real upset real fast. All right, so once our oven is heated up, we're gonna throw the falafel in there, and so we'll come back. Okay, so our falafel has chilled in the fridge for a little bit. Chilling in there.
Chilling, hanging
What
out.
you doing? Chilling.
Butts.
Our oven is at 375, so at this point, you can do a couple things with them. You could cook them immediately, either frying them in oil or baking them in the oven. They're gonna be crispier and more moist if you fry them. They're gonna be a little healthier if you do them in the oven. And they still taste great. This is how we cook them. We cook them in the oven. I'm sure you could put them in the air fryer even, but we haven't tried that. So now that they've chilled out a little, they're a little more stable. You can take them, put them in a bag, put them in the freezer, keep them for later, put them in the fridge if you're gonna use them like tomorrow. So we are gonna move straight into the oven with these. The only thing that we need to do to these is we need to put a little bit of olive oil on them, and they'll be good to go. A little bit of olive oil on each of these, and I do actually find that they cook a little better in the oven if you kind of mash them down a little bit. You don't have that bullshit, but you don't want to get too crazy because you don't want to break them apart. You just want to gently mash them down.
Smoosh.
Smoosh. So we are going to throw these in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes until they're cooked on the inside. All right, guys. So our falafel are out of the oven. A couple tips for the oven: make sure that you oil the pan first. I actually forgot to do that, so we had a little bit of sticking, but it wasn't too much of a problem. And then about 10-15 minutes in the oven, flip them halfway through, make sure they get crispy on both sides, and you're good to go. So here are the falafel that we pulled out of the oven. We got some tahini here. We're gonna taste these.
We have tzatziki.
I'm sorry, tzatziki. We have some tzatziki here. We're gonna taste these. This is our favorite way to eat them. So you got a nice salad here. You got some greens in the middle. We got some onions, some cucumbers, tomatoes, feta. Put some tzatziki on top of there. It's delicious. You wanna taste these?
I do.
Mmm. A little bit crispy on that outside.
They're so tasty.
Soft, but you got a good chew from the chickpeas. These aren't really dry because we put that tahini in there and we put some olive oil on top of them.
It's crispy on the outside and it's nice and tender on the inside. A lot of flavor.
These are delicious.
Yes. Good job.
Thank you. All right, now we're gonna eat it.
Yay. I'm gonna just say yay every time.
Yay!
What happens?
This
Yay.
is so good.
It tastes good. Well, thanks for watching.
Yes, thanks for watching.
Keep coming back. We don't know what we're doing, but we're having fun. And
We certainly don't know what we're doing.
That's true. Don't even know how to oil a pan at this point. But thank you for watching. We love you. Leave us comments.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Adios.
Bye.
Record.
Table's all over here.
In Dill.
In here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now today we're making. You'll say today we're making. I'll say 4.
Okay.
1, 2,
Don't
3.
1, 2, 3 me. No. I'm just gonna have it like spontaneous. So I'm just gonna stand here and watch the dogs.
Shibby dibby dibby. Shibby dibby dibby. Have like elevator music. What the heck are you doing? No. Let me do it. Let me do it. No. Babe, let me do it. You're gonna break it.
It's a Wuzzy boy.
Tatziki.
Gentile. What are you doing this for dinner? A poon.
Bam, 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 bam.
I don't even know.
Hiya.
Hoyo! They look good. Backwards, I know.
This one's easy. Just pick it up. Shake it.
We're good.
That's probably good.